Hey guys, this is Bigfoot Anonymous. I'm here with a couple of friends who have a plethora of paranormal experiences. I just wanted to hear a little bit about them. Could you guys let us in?
Sure. I'll go first. My event kind of happened around about 2005, 2006 in Enterprise, Alabama, and I was working in the meat department at Walmart, and I came home pretty late. It was like 11 p.m. and it was actually the first time ever that I was ever alone. Like when I was living with my family, someone was always there. And then when my brother and I moved into this apartment, it was always somebody there, friends and whatnot. So, first time ever, I'm alone. A little bit depressed, by the way. Of course, my brothers, got shipped off to Iraq and nowhere to hang out. So I was like, well, I don't know what to do. First time being alone. And I burned a little candle, a little incense, and just trying to figure out what to do. And I got pretty tired, so I was like, well, let me go ahead and just sleep on this couch and pull the blanket up to my chest and started falling asleep. Well, I don't know, I hear this like female voice, and she was just laughing. I mean, it wasn't like an evil laugh, it was like hee 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 hee, like very playful, and it sounded like a young adult, but at the same time the way it was acting like maybe it's a young child. So she started telling me to wake up. She's like, wake up, wake up. And when I realized there was something in my house, like I woke up and the blanket was like completely covered my face, and threw that off really quick and looked around, and the candle was a lot brighter. And you know how when your eyes are trying to adjust and you could see things in the distance, but I couldn't see anything else beyond that candle. It was like pitch black. And I forgot to mention this, I've actually started smelling perfume. And then after some time has passed, like a few minutes, I was able to see outside of the light in the dark. And I thought, that's a little weird. And then like the next day, for like a couple of days, it was like there was always this perfume smell at the entrance of my house. And I think it was like a spirit that knew the suffering I had in my previous life as a child, and it was trying to comfort me, saying, there's more to life, things are gonna get better. Another one, it's pretty short. In my teenage years, I was able to like see shadowy people in the woods or in dark areas, and I thought that was a little bit cool. And I wonder if it was something I attracted, like I attracted this sense of desire to have a lot of friends and be in the presence of company. So one time I was just hanging out with one of my friends who was Wicca, and the next day, I noticed, something different about me, and I noticed that I couldn't see the shadowy figures anymore, and that really bothered me. And when I went to go tell my Wicca friend about it, he was like, that's a little weird. I wonder if I accidentally like took your powers or took these people away from you, and if I did, I'm sorry. But since then, I haven't had that ability ever again, so...
It's a blessing and a curse, I bet, in many ways, because that's comforting,
Yes.
having friends in the forest, but it's also eyes on you as well. It's a tough line to walk. But yeah, that's very, very interesting, man.
It is. It's, and like what you were just saying, it's you kind of wonder, like, a lot of the biggest questions, like, are these spirits are here to hurt us or whatnot? I think this is my personal take. They are drawn to the energy we put off. And they almost can tell what kind of energy we're putting off, whether it's like hey, I desire, like in my case, I desire company. But because I was this person who did good because I suffered a lot, it was almost like they wanted to help me. Like I drew in that kind of spirit of, hey, we want to help you, things are going to get better.
Yep.
But then, yeah.
Yeah, your vibrations put the call out, and
Yeah.
it responded 100%, man. That's awesome. That's special, man.
So.
Well,
This is my wife, Lindsay, so she'll tell you.
The one where I was woken up. It was sometime December or January. I can't remember which. I was living in Virginia at the time. And it had been snowing. Well, for some bizarre reason, like, I kept waking up and just couldn't stay asleep no matter what I tried. And eventually I kept getting this nudging feeling to go look out the back door. And so I went and looked out the back door, and at first it was super dark. Like, you could barely see anything, even with like some of the street lights from the cul-de-sac behind us glaring into the backyard a little bit. And it was like really cloudy out, and then all of a sudden like a huge gust of wind happened, and then like suddenly it's clear sky, there's a really bright full moon, and it starts shining down on all of the snow and ice in the backyard, and it started refracting everywhere and sent up like rainbows all over the place, and like it was reflecting off the trampoline and the side of the pool and this sheet of glass that my dad had laid up against the side of the house, and then everything that was carpeted, and it was just dazzling.
Yeah, that sounds remarkable.
Where I had to write a poem about that. I can't remember it all
Yeah, you'll have to send it to me whenever you find it through. Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like you were in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, one of those.
And the thing is, when I got to see that moment, I just had this really comforting feeling, like almost like someone knew I was having a hard time and just said, hey, I wanted to share this moment with you.
Yeah. It's good to know that there's forces out there that are bigger than us, bigger than the force of the world, but that can, sink into our feelings and might be a friend or, a warm touch when we need it.
Yeah, most definitely. It's kind of like, it doesn't hurt to pay some sort of respect. I mean, whether you believe it or not, it's like there's got to be something out there. And because as you probably know, in the world we live in today, there's a lot of producing of this negative hatred. And, a lot of the spirits and even the earth is trying to heal that hatred. And right now, I think that's why it's so chaotic. Like, there are times when my wife and I, before we're about to go out to shop, it's like, boom, we step outside, and it's like, oh my God, I feel so sick and whatnot. And I started getting angry for no reason. And when we come back in and just kind of, calm down, desensitize in a sense, it's like, what was that?
Yeah. It's scary, the dark cloud that's over the world right now. We have to guide our inner light to come together. One little candle can light 1,000, 1,000,000, the world. So we need to be that candle.
For sure.
The next one is a possessed baby doll, one of those, not the original Annabelle, but one of the baby Annabelle dolls, the one that can cry and eyes open and close and have that special bottle that makes it look like it's drinking milk or something. Well, my little sister got one for her birthday, and of course everybody was like, oh, it's the coolest thing. And we were playing with it, and then we were called to go light the candles and whatnot. And so we had turned it off and went to leave. And as soon as like the last one of us was starting to exit the bedroom, it all of a sudden started screaming. And so we all came back in and was like, what's going on? And then like, because we double checked and made sure that was off again, and we went to leave again, and it started screaming again. And that time it started sounding a little more angry. And then we went ahead and took the batteries out and went to leave for the third time, and it started screaming bloody murder that time.
What a nightmare.
And so, like, I forget what we did, like pitched it in the bottom of our toy chest or something.
Yeah.
And we left it there, went and did our thing. And then a few months later, we had it sitting up on the shelf next to my pencil box. And I, being an OCD person, would sharpen them to that like super sharp point.
Yeah.
And like me and my little sister was having an argument over something. And she had left, and then I went to start to go to leave. And the pencil box was chunked and thrown across the room and busted open. There was no saving the pencil box because it broke right along the
crease,
crease of it, and all the pencils had like scattered everywhere, and a few of them hit me, but luckily like none of the points.
Yeah, the sharp ends. Jeez, that's crazy.
And so like, of course, because I was already at Jessica, and then that happened, I got mad and I grabbed the doll and threw it in the kitchen garbage can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the very next day, it showed up in the room on the bed.
Wow.
And so I decided to throw it in the garbage can outside. And the next day, it was back. And then I waited until garbage day and I threw it into the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And it was probably a month or so later and it reappeared.
Oh my gosh. What the heck? That's like Robert, Chucky, and Annabelle all put in one.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
sure who Robert is, but I'll find out later.
I think Robert's the original Chucky doll. They have it down in South Florida right now in Key West.
I heard
Yeah.
about it. Wanna go visit?
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish it.
And then, it was like every time it would come back, like you could tell it was taking on some damage from whatever
Yeah.
it was being gone through. And then we were going to move from Virginia down to Gulf Shores. And so I put it in a box and I wrote on the box, "Do not take away from this place. This is not to go to the new house."
Yeah.
And I threw it up in the attic. And it didn't show up in Gulf Shores, but when we moved to Dothan, it showed up.
That's a nightmare.
So we like took the head and the battery part off
Yeah.
and like got rid of this other part of the body so maybe it couldn't follow us.
Right. You would burn it or bury it at that point, you know?
We did.
Wow.
But like even as a head after we got rid of it, it showed up again.
Dude, that is unreal.
And I found out the whole burn some sage and all that. And
Yeah.
like I got an entire container to burn
Yeah,
it
you need
with.
a whole acre of sage. Yeah, for that.
And like luckily it really didn't cause any true harm other than scaring the shit out of me.
Yeah, causing anxiety, spreading some fear.
And so
I appreciate the stories, guys. That was crazy.
Oh, no problem, man. Anytime.
I'm looking forward to the future. We're going to go on a hike to Bellamy Bridge soon, so you guys will definitely be invited.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks.
Very nice.
Thanks.